This week, I learned about writing messages with AI, and I'm sharing it with you.
Okay, think about the last time you were in a high-stakes situation. Maybe it was a huge presentation, a make-or-break client pitch, or even just a really tough meeting. You weren't just sharing facts, right? You were literally fighting for every ounce of attention in that room. And in today's world, that focus, it's the most valuable currency there is. So the real question is, how do you make your message not just heard, but actually remembered and acted on? How do you make it stick? Well, the answer lies in mastering what we're going to call the micro moment. And this isn't just some clever buzzword. It's the absolutely critical first and last 60 seconds of any engagement you have. Now, what's so wild is that these 2 minutes, man, they pack a massive punch. This is the window where you either grab the room, establish your authority, or you fade into the background. The entire ROI of your presentation, the legacy of that whole interaction, it's all decided right here in these crucial moments. So how do we actually pull this off? Let's break down this blueprint, because it basically maps out our entire journey for this explainer. Over here on the left, you see strategic preparation with AI. This is our bedrock, our foundation. We're going to explore how to use amazing tools like ChatGPT and Claude, not just as writing assistants, but as genuine strategic partners to build our message from the ground up. Then you see the flow moves over to the right side, high-impact execution. This is where we, the humans, get to shine. Our delivery, our connection, our authenticity. The real magic, the stuff that makes a message absolutely unforgettable, happens when we fuse these two sides together. The AI-powered strategy with that powerful, irreplaceable human delivery. All right, let's start on the left side of that blueprint with our AI strategy stack. You know the feeling, right? Staring at a blank page, that blinking cursor just mocking you, waiting for the perfect words to just appear. Well, that old model of hoping for a lightning bolt of inspiration, it's becoming a thing of the past. We're moving from that frustrating process to one of high-velocity iteration, turning that dreaded blank page into a battle-ready draft at incredible speed. First things first, we've got to completely reframe how we see these AI tools. This isn't some ghostwriter you just hand a task off to. It's way more like a creative sparring partner, you know? Think of it like an architect's most advanced design software. It lets you whip up a dozen different angles in minutes, stress test your core ideas against different what-ifs, and really refine your message before you ever even think about stepping in front of an audience. So what does this AI A-team actually look like in practice? This chart here breaks down the core stack. First up, you've got a tool like Claude, which, as you can see, is just brilliant at creating a natural, human-sounding tone. You use it to add that linguistic warmth so your script doesn't sound like a robot wrote it. Then, of course, you've got ChatGPT, a total powerhouse for brainstorming the structure and the outline of your talk. Once you have that draft, you move into rehearsal with something like Yoodli. This is incredible. It's like your personal delivery coach, analyzing your speech for filler words, your pacing, even your eye contact. And finally, a tool like Descript helps you review and polish up recordings of your rehearsals. Each tool has a specific job, and together they create this seamless workflow from the very first idea to that final polish. But here's the absolute key. You can't just type, "write me a speech," and expect magic. To get those high-impact results, you need a tiered prompting strategy, just like the one you see here. First, you assign the AI a persona. Act as a world-class speechwriter. Simple enough. Second, you inject the context. The goal is to inspire investment in a new tech platform at a big conference. And third, this is the secret sauce you refined for your specific audience. So instead of a generic prompt, you'd say something like, "Now tweak this message for an audience of essentialists. They're younger, they value unique experiences. Make the language lean, energetic, and focus on the one-of-a-kind takeaways." It's this layered approach that turns robotic text into something that really, truly connects with people. And that final step, understanding your audience, is so critical, it honestly deserves its own section. Because once AI gives you a solid draft, your most important job begins. You have to calibrate that message for the unique psychology of the people sitting right in front of you. A message that's for everyone is really a message for no one. Every audience is a mix of different motivations, and this slide breaks down the 4 main psychographic archetypes you're likely to encounter. First, you've got the skill builders. These folks are practical. They showed up for a tangible return on their time. You gotta give them actionable takeaways. Next are the socializers, who are all about human connection. For them, you'll want to highlight community and shared purpose. Then you have the FOMO attendees. They want to feel like they're getting the inside scoop on the hottest trends. And finally, the essentialists, who are often hunting for a unique, high-energy experience they just can't get anywhere else. The trick isn't to pick just one. A truly great message finds a way to weave in elements that speak to all four of these needs. And the calibration goes even deeper. As this slide shows, you also need to adjust for the engagement level of your listeners. For most of the audience, who we can call these spectators, you want to use clear, instructive language that's super easy to follow, think simple commands. But for your VIPs, the approach has to be totally different. You need to acknowledge their status and their achievements, maybe referencing a recent success of theirs. It's all about building that rapport by showing them you've done your homework. And there's one more crucial layer to think about. Are you speaking to experience chasers or comfort zoners? The experience chaser is the person who wants to hear about the crazy idea that just might work. You win them over by highlighting adventure, novelty, and fun. The comfort zoner, on the other hand, needs what's called psychological safety. You connect with them by referencing shared history, inside jokes, or local landmarks, things that make the message feel familiar, safe, and relatable. Understanding this distinction can be the difference between a message that lands and one that just falls flat. Okay, so we've used AI to build the message, and we've carefully calibrated it for our specific audience. Now we need to give it a rock-solid structure. A strong framework is like cognitive scaffolding. It helps your audience build understanding and actually hold on to the message, especially when they're being bombarded with information. This is where we architect those critical micro-moments, the opening and the close. When it comes to your opening, it is all about discipline. See that number on the screen? That's not a friendly suggestion. It's a hard rule. You have a maximum of 60 seconds to establish command and capture attention. It's a countdown clock, and every single second matters. Go over that, and you risk losing them for good. So how do you make every single one of those seconds work for you? You follow this three-part architecture. First, the attention grabber. This could be a startling fact like, did you know that 90% of presentations fail to make an impact in the first minute? Bam. Then, a crystal clear statement of purpose. Today, I'm going to show you how to be in the top 10%. And finally, a rapid-fire preview. We'll cover three things: AI preparation, audience calibration, and human delivery. Hook, purpose, roadmap. Simple, powerful. And it all happens in under a minute. Now, the closing is designed to be the perfect mirror image of the opening, which gives your audience this powerful sense of completion. You start with a key takeaway recap. Boil everything down to one single punchy highlight. Remember, it's about fusing AI strategy with human authenticity. Then, sincere expression of gratitude to the organizers and the audience. And you end with a final pivot, a powerful call to action or a motivational quote that sends them off totally inspired. So we've now covered the entire strategic preparation phase. The message is built, it's calibrated, and it's structured. But a perfect script is useless without a powerful delivery. Now we transition to the final and, frankly, the most important step, the art of human polish, where technology finally gives way to authenticity. This quote right here gets to the absolute heart of what we're talking about. When you see someone deliver a powerful, seemingly off-the-cuff remark in a Q&A, that excellence is almost never an accident. It's the byproduct of what we call personal assets. Think of it as your personal library of powerful stories, surprising facts, and compelling anecdotes that you've practiced and have ready to deploy at a moment's notice. It's your secret weapon for any situation. So how do you structure those remarks on the fly so you sound brilliant instead of just rambling? You use a simple and incredibly powerful mental framework called the PREP model, which you see right here. First, you make your point. I believe our company needs to invest in AI. Then you give the reason, because it will dramatically increase our efficiency. You follow that with an example. Last quarter, a competitor used AI to cut their production time by 30%. And finally, you restate your point. That's why investing in AI is essential for our survival. This structure is your safety net. It ensures that even your unscripted contributions are clear, concise, and super impactful. And this is why the human element will always be irreplaceable. An AI can build you a perfect script. It can optimize every single word for logic, but it can never, ever provide genuine conviction. Think about history's greatest speeches. A perfect example is Martin Luther King Jr. improvising the end of his I Have a Dream speech. The planned text was good, but the unscripted passion, it was transcendent. In those pivotal moments, it wasn't the script that changed the world. It was spontaneous, authentic, human fire. So the future of communication really belongs to those who can synthesize the analytical speed of AI with the irreplaceable authenticity of the human spirit. Use technology to build the bones of your message, but use your own intuition, your own stories, and your own passion to give it a soul. Your message is your influence. The only question left is, how will you master your micro moment?
Did you learn something new and exciting? Share it here. I want to know about it too.